The last time we covered the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy here on the channel, it was for the Halloween special Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. So what better way to revisit this series than with another special, Billy and Mandy Save Christmas. Another Christmas special in the cartoon series that sticks out for me in a major way from my childhood. So for this year's Fringemas, I wanted to make sure I cover it since I wanted to give it a rewatch for the season anyway. Speaking of Christmas, welcome back, or hello for the first time to the 25 Days of Fringemas, where I cover something interesting, nostalgic, or holiday related every day from the 1st of December to the 25th, in order to find that holiday spirit I lost nearly a decade ago. So if you want to be a part of this daily journey and help me find that good old jolly joy, subscribe and come aboard. We start the episode with Grim telling us a tale about the night before Christmas, as Santa is gearing up for delivering presents, but something dastardly may be going down at the North Pole. Also, Santa wears a thong. Now back in Ennsville at a local mall, Billy, Mandy, and Grim are waiting in line for what Billy thinks is the bathroom, but is really just the line to meet Santa. Grim here has a hamburger on a stick like he's Tebow from iCarly, as Mandy talks about Santa not being real and not having any Christmas spirit. Well, I can't say I don't relate, but I'm trying my best here with this whole Fringemas thing. Aside from that, Billy rushes to the front of the line to tell Santa what he wants, and oh boy is it a lot, and boy is it weird. I'm pretty sure I heard him say a fourth nipple, so that's great. Oh, and he pees on him, treating mall Santa like the bathroom he thought he was waiting in line for, causing Santa to literally try and murder him before being exposed as a fake Santa, and really just General Reginald Peter Scar. So now everyone starts a riot, knocks down the big Christmas tree, and cheers when it combusts into flames. Now that's what I call a holiday party. Okay, dang, maybe I am really jaded. In an effort to prove Santa is real to Mandy, Grim opens a portal to the North Pole, leading them right to Santa's house and factory. We get a little Star Wars reference that mauls off Billy's face. Nice. More of that good old jolly joy we keep speaking about. But something feels a bit off. Santa's sleigh is found to be running and left unattended, with no one in sight, making it feel like the North Pole is a ghost town. They head to the front door of the house with no answer, so once they break in, they find Mrs. Claus, voiced by Carol Kane, and the elves hiding in fear like something truly bad had happened. She tells them about an accident that happened to Santa as she walks them into the basement dungeon with a mystery coffin-shaped box. A dramatic unveiling proceeds to jump scare the audience with a now greenish-skinned, sharp-toothed monster version of Santa who was bitten by a vampire, and voiced by Gilbert Gottfried, causing him to now be chained up and locked within the basement. Now, Mandy may not have believed in the whole Santa thing. Well, she sure does believe in vampires and immediately wants to kill the head vampire in charge to revert the bite's effects. So Mandy and Grim get told of this crazy long perilous journey to get where the head vampire lives. And we just skip all of that anyway, as they automatically end up right where the vampire's place is. Billy, however, stayed behind to help out Miss Claus, who is just grateful because no one has ever offered to help her. They break inside Baron Van Goolish's place. That's the name of the head vampire, voiced by Malcolm McDowell. Wow, they sure shelled out some big money to get some big voices in this special. When confronting him, he is shown to be a complete neat freak, and then is immediately killed by Mandy. Santa and Christmas are saved.
Dumb Beatles in the tub tonight. What up, Chip and Skip?
This party stinks. You're telling me.
Okay, not really. He puts on the theatrics. A vacuum saved his life. Same here once, but that's a story for my tell-all book one day. In a weird turn of events, while he is the head vampire, they need to find the head vampire that is really the top vampire in charge. It's because of some shifting around in the vampire organization, some positions were changed, and it's a clerical nightmare. Oddly enough, he wants to join them on their journey to find the head vampire, as he's always wanted to save Christmas, and Grim has always wanted to save Christmas with a vampire. There's this whole double flashback cutaway that's pretty funny, with them as kids in class wishing for these specific things. Kind of a charming bit, and I enjoyed it a lot. So they pal it up and break into song on their continued journey. Mandy keeps cutting them off. Thanks, Mandy. It was getting too Christmas vibey for my liking. There's always gotta be some sort of music, right? Billy, while helping around the place, is mopey and is sad because Santa is not okay and that Christmas could be no longer happening. Mandy, Grim, and Baron return to the house, as that's where the journey has led them, and we start seeing things not adding up for Mrs. Claus. She convinces them to head into the basement once more and takes Grim's scythe, as she says it's dirty, so Grim hands it to her just before heading down. Now trapped down there with Billy none the wiser still upstairs to anything about what's going on just yet, the rest of the gang realize that Santa was let loose and they are now trapped down there with him, and that Mrs. Claus is the head vampire. In an attempt to bring out the Santa in Santa, Mandy breaks out into song to bring some good old jolly joy in the most monotone of ways, briefly stalling him as Grim calls for for his scythe right through the ceiling like it's Thor's hammer or something, and then make a break for it back upstairs. They confront Mrs. Claus, who reveals to them that she's the head vampire, which is anticlimactic because we already found that out. Mandy even calls that fact out as well. Very lackluster, but funny and different in execution. Baron hides in a tree because he wants no part of this confrontation. He was also loosely working for her, as again, this whole vampire thing is a lucrative operation, 401ks, stock options, healthcare benefits, the whole 9 yards. She then goes into the backstory of her relationship with Santa, about how it started and how quickly it turned into her always taking care of everything around the house, while he works 1 day a year and is constantly checking his list. Not once, not twice, I don't know how many times, but enough for them to rewrite the whole song is all I know. Mandy retorts, unveiling her true plans to turn everyone into vampires by going through their chimneys instead of Santa doing it and leaving presents. Well, she just actually wanted a break in general, but then randomly gets more evil and says that's a pretty good plan to do. Oh yeah, Billy, by the way, sneaks into Santa's office and does Billy things. Like, why? Why? He does break open the most randomly specific breaking case of emergency vampire glass, which projects another Star Wars reference that explains what to do in this situation to Billy as best as it can. We then see one of the most fun fight scenes that I truly enjoy the complexity, creativity, and surprisingly Christmassy of it all. With Mandy and Grimm taking on vampire elves to the toy workshop, fighting on conveyor belts, there's this whole bit with a trampoline, and yeah, Grimm just beats the crap out of them with a scythe at one point. It reminds me of fight scenes in Christmas films like Jingle All the Way with all the fake Santas. Best Christmas movie ever, I swear. Oh no, I can already hear all the opinions on my opinions coming into the comment section. No, stop.
The spirit is out there.
I'm hearing voices again. I should get some sleep. What in the world? Your journey isn't over yet? Oh, over. Your journey isn't over yet. See, that makes a lot more sense. But how did this... Okay, things are getting just a little too weird.
Rock on, dude.
Mandy now heads to literally stab Mrs. Claus with a Barbie doll. Odd choice, but I support it. Miss Claus then turns even more into a horrifying monstrosity, but before anything happens, Billy runs by and heads to see Santa with the antidote, which turns out to be cookies and milk. Shocker. Santa turns back to normal, Billy talks about what the meaning of Christmas means to him, and Santa apologizes for the neglect he has shown her. She listens and turns back to human, and they just suck face, dude, as Billy and Mandy, and even Grimm, he helped, save Christmas. Baron comes out of hiding and with the mess of a place starts up his cleanly tendencies to clean up the place. We also find out that Santa has always known she's a vampire and that this has happened before, which explains the break-in case of vampire emergency case from earlier. Santa tells Mandy the meaning of Christmas. They hold hands and holiday cheer, all while the kid who was throwing snowballs at them from off screen the entire episode is attacked by vampire elves. Oh, and in the end credits, Mandy doesn't have the Christmas spirit even after all that.
Do you believe in the Christmas spirit now?
No.
Now, this episode is extremely well written to tie everything in nicely. Having the emergency glass not just be a random joke, but an actual functional problem solver for the scenario. Miss Claus thanking Billy for actually asking to help because she never truly had it before, and that's why she was this mad in the first place. And even Baron, who was shown to be a clean freak for a reason, later on to be shown now maybe helping out Mrs. Claus around the house. Everything had a reason to happen. Yeah, there's still that Billy and Mandy randomness, crudeness, and mean-spirited violence, but that's all baked into what the show had built throughout the years. These characters, while doing a good thing overall, are not truly great people. I mean, one of them literally is a death, but at the same time, it's so charming. I think when it came to specials, Grim Adventures is extremely underrated in that category. It told a fun and interesting story for the holiday without the holiday being the real thing tackled, but instead used just as the backdrop. It's not super ingrained with a major holiday message either, but it makes the holiday themes bend to the way the show works, and that's why I think it's a unique and great special. While not being my favorite show of all time or even my favorite holiday special, it captures my attention from how it handled it, with now in my life a relatable character in Mandy for her lack of spirit for the season. I genuinely am trying this year to find that joy. It's not something that just poof, it's here. It's something I am actively digging for within my love for cartoons and what makes me at peace with my feelings. feelings, exploring my past and what it all means to me. But overall, how do you feel about this holiday special? Was it something unique and fun in your opinion, or something too mean-spirited and slightly grotesque for your liking? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter, or else I'll see you tomorrow with another video for my next day of Fringemas. Check out the playlist to keep up with the month, but until then, later.